As It Were Productions and Aeroscope Pictures presents...
Hi everybody, my name is Joe Lynch.
Hi, I'm Becca Howard.
And this is A Couple of Old Fashions, the movie show for movie geeks, by movie geeks, where each week we recommend 2 movies, and we go over there, we watch it on the couch, we come back, and we discuss. And hopefully, we've made a fantastic pairing. Kind of like a pairing of old fashions, or a pairing of like a nice cheese and a nice meat on a charcuterie board, right? Like,
I do love a charcuterie board. Although I feel like dessert and wine is a new thing trending now, like ice cream and wine or chocolate and wine. I'm very excited to
why
get
haven't
on
we
board
been
with
doing
that.
this more?
We did
This
a
is
little bit,
trending.
yeah. Well, that brings us on to what this podcast is all about. Unusual pairings, because we have no idea what movies we're bringing other than the theme.
Yeah. By the way, thank you very much for everyone supporting the show. If you've gotten to this episode, hopefully you've watched the last ones, because this is one of the most exciting parts. This is the interactive part where we get to talk to you, even though we're on the comment section as well, but we get to impart our feelings towards your feelings, towards our picks. And that is called the comment section.
Okay, I don't know if I have everyone's feelings. I
right.
got there.
Well, I think that their feelings are represented by their picks.
Okay, I just wrote down a few of your guys' lovely suggestions for what we should have watched instead of the picks that we had. Although some people thought our picks were good.
I mean, all of them in
so.
one way or another, but that one felt like the perfect wine and cheese.
Yes. I'm trying to now think of a good wine and cheese, but my mind is actually drawing a blank. I'm a little sick today. Sorry
Great.
for anybody.
Don't
lean in
caught.
too close to the camera.
Yeah.
Or to the... What do people watch things on? Screens.
Screens, yes.
Don't lean in too close to the
This is
screen.
gonna go great. Let me just say that I said multiple times, "Are you sure you're good to go?" And she's like, "I'm gonna fucking power through.
I'm trying.
I'm gonna power through."
We went to a lovely screening last night, and I met so many wonderful people, and they were all beautiful souls. But I think one of them might have had a cold today.
Shit.
I woke up and was like,
But enough of that. If you are in the Panic Fest area, please show up, say hi
we
to
would
us.
love to see you. But that is indeed why, as kind as Joe was to suggest that, you know, we maybe try and do this on a day that I'm not feeling like warmed up poop.
We had dedication.
I want to make sure that we get this out on time, and I feel like today was the only day that we could do it. Tony Prutz. Oh yes, this was for Mob Mentality. Angels with Dirty Faces, which I love.
Really
what a
good
wonderful
movie.
suggestion. I haven't seen it in a minute, and I love James Cagney so much. Somehow manages to be a moral tale without any kind of hand holding or finger wagging, which is shocking.
It's not
considering
for a mob mentality movie. It's lack of object. Like, it's more objective than subjective
And
when
a
it comes
great
to morality.
title. I
Wait,
think.
I'm gonna have the hair of the dog.
Oh yeah, maybe this will help me feel better.
Yes, you
This
should.
is like the olden days of medicine.
Just pour some brandy.
Frontier
No, what we need
times.
to have is Rocco has to have one of those barrels of booze with the X's on it, and he'll just come over and just like lean over you and just like piss his deliciousness into your mouth.
What?
Maybe piss is the wrong word to use. I don't know. There's no piss in there.
Okay. Laura said she enjoyed, similar to you, mafia movies, Married to the Mob, Goodfellas,
Oh, Jonathan
both
Demme.
of which I think are actually better picks than My Blue Heaven if you were to go down that mafia mentality kind of
We've
route.
talked about it. Married to the Mob is the like love child of My Blue Heaven and Goodfellas. So if there was like a weird drunk uncle that was in the middle of Nicholas Pileggi and Nora Ephron making those 2 scripts, it would be Jonathan Demme's Married to the Mob.
Michael D said Green Street Hooligans.
Ooh, yeah.
I haven't
Charlie
seen that one.
Hunnam.
Michael D keeps picking ones I haven't seen.
That one is with Elijah Wood, Charlie Hunnam, Lexi Alexander directed. It's not a mob movie. It's more of a mob mentality because of all the hooligan culture.
Oh, a little bit of for football.
Yeah.
Oh, so
That's a
yay.
good choice.
Just being on the tube when people are like going to like an Arsenal game, and they've got stuff painted on their face and
Yeah.
they've got the scars
Ole,
and
ole,
yeah.
ole, ole.
Oh my gosh, it's super intense. So definitely like a herd mentality, like whoa, like they really go in for that kind of tribal antics at a football match. Bruce Ross, good name, said Brother Orchid. I don't know that film.
I don't know that movie either. Wow, you stumped us.
Thank you,
You
Bruce.
win a prize?
Yeah.
You get our undying respect for seeing a movie that
And
neither
we
of us
will
has
put
seen,
it
which is a rare feat.
On our list.
Yes. Oh,
Thank you,
100%.
Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce.
Roger Russell said Frankenstein, and Lisa said The Mist. So
I like how I like reading that. It seemed like it said Lisa Frankenstein.
oh yeah.
But yeah, two great picks. And the mob mentality of Frank Darabont's The Mist is one that I actually thought about.
I thought of two, and
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to watch The Mist tonight.
much as I
I
love
love
that
The
movie.
Mist. Oof, it's that ending.
You
Dark.
better have a great B film to like sop up the sadness gravy.
Sop up all the brain matter
God,
in
yeah.
the back of the
Ooh,
car.
wow.
My hand just touched brain.
We can't do a spoiler alert already. Oh yes, we can.
Spoiler alert.
Alan Blash said The Legend of Billie Jean.
Oh,
and
so good.
Jason Turkington did The Oxbow Incident. Both movies, again, which follow more my interpretation of virus of a group.
A
social virus.
or a cultural virus. Is this also a competition?
Yes.
No, it's not. Oh my God. This is like, we're all in this together. Overall, though, amazing picks. Yeah, now we get to go on to what we did this week, which the theme is...
Why would you ask me? I don't know where I am every other second.
Okay, now this is where you
What
say...
was the theme again?
The theme was...
Climax?
No, it's right there. Two for the road. Two for the road. There you go. That was a little graphics joke because it's not really there. Get it?
Oh, yeah, it was Two for the Road. And I
Two
knew
for
that
the
when I
road.
made my pick, but right now I'm going from thought to thought.
And there she goes. Almost gone. This is a movie that I can vouch that we have seen before, that knocked our fucking socks off. That is 1974's Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry.
Well, I love that movie. I disagree that it's Two for the Road because they forget all about Deke. I love Deke.
Oh, fuck.
So I wouldn't say... I don't mind because I really love that film and I'm kind of in the mood for something like that right now.
Now, if you don't know, Deke is the third member of this kind
The
of
third
racing.
wheel.
But he is the third wheel.
Not
but
really.
I have a thought on that because I do recall that I had a feeling like this was going to come up, and I feel like even though there is 3 people in that car, there might only be one couple, and it's not the couple that you think.
To me, the road just means that it's a journey, that you're taking a journey. So I went a couple different places with that. Of course, the first movie I thought of was the movie Two for the Road by Stanley Donen, which is a
I thought you were gonna
wonderful
do that.
romance film with Audrey Hepburn and Albert Finney. Please God, let me have got that right. I'm so tired. But I've been wanting to get you to see that for ages, so I almost picked it, but I thought picking a movie with the same title as the theme was probably a little bit too on the nose, and I like to go a little bit
Swerve.
zag.
You like to zig.
I like
instead
to
of
zig,
zagging.
and yeah, exactly. So the second one I thought of was Lost in Translation because that's kind of where my mind went from that.
It is a
that
two-hander.
starting point because for me it's about Two for the Road means you're away from home, you're trying to find connection. Ultimately found its way to my pick for this week, which was the documentary from I want to say 2016 by the beautiful, the effervescent, the late Agnes Varda. Faces, Places. I was going to say the French title, but I literally
Oh no,
can't
say
remember.
the French title. Do you remember it?
Visage, Village. Visage, Village.
That's good. That sounds very, very artsy.
Agnès Varda, one of the great figures to come out of the French New Wave, married to Jacques Demy, made some wonderful films. Perhaps her most famous of that era was Cléo de 5 à 7, Cléo from 5 to 7, which I love. In this documentary, it sees her go on the road with a young graffiti artist, but his graffiti is through photographs. Go on this big road trip throughout France, experience life together in the whilst thinking about death and their history and memories and all these things that connect us to one another in spite of our differences, perhaps even because of our differences. And I thought, given that this podcast is a podcast about trying to bring different movies under the same umbrella theme, despite having totally different backgrounds and baggages. We bring all of that into what movies we pick for the week, and we connect over the films that we choose. And that's kind of what Faces Places is about. So I thought it would be a lovely note to end on.
I would suggest, my own personal feeling, that we would watch Faces Places first and then go high octane.
I love Faces Places. I'm just like...
But I think, you know what, since we're going to power through, I, again, haven't seen it, but I think, and if you know Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, that movie is 100 miles per hour of pure cinematic fucking, high octane power. Shall we?
Let us shall.
To the couch.
And now it's A Couple of Old Fashions with Becca and Joe. This week's episode, 2 for the Road. Vroom vroom.
Ready? All right, let's do it on 3. Ready? No, get back. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, we're running it.
Ah, hey. Look, I dressed up.
Isn't it fun?
It's great. Yeah. Oh, yay. Oh, I got a hug. Oh, finally. Oh.
Get my sickness.
I already have your sickness.
That's true.
As we're off mic. Yep. So there you go. I got dressed up. What can I say?
Yay!
Now,
I too got dressed up in Joe's film. Sorry.
Anyone who's watching this before Panic Fest, this is a little hint as to what my costume is for that night.
That's why you. Oh my! So you're double dipping in your.
It's the only chance that I had to have flared fucking bell bottoms and a loose.
That's how you had a
denim top.
costume though for this week. You had it for Panic Fest, and you're just
It just worked out.
Cycling.
It just worked out that way.
I really have a good time with these, and I
have a good time with those too.
I enjoy this costume a lot more, like doing a fiction kind of, especially because I just love Mary so much. I mean, we'll get to her, but I adore her in every way that one can adore a fictional character. So I thank you for letting me hitchhike off of your pick so that I could dress up a little bit more.
You can hop in my Charger anytime. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about the first film, Faces Places.
Yay!
J'y réponds à ce que je souhaite le plus. Les visages que je rencontre, les photographier pour qu'ils ne tombent pas aussitôt dans les trous de ma mémoire.
I'm just going to go out there and say, what a delightful movie.
Yay, oh good. It was definitely out there. We hadn't done a documentary yet this series, or indeed one directed by a woman. So I'm excited that you liked it.
No, I was thrilled with this because in most cases, when I think of road movies in one form or another, in most cases here, I always think that there is, maybe not Wild at Heart, but in most cases, it's usually two characters at least that are a little bit opposites attract or a little bit like combative in a way.
Which I would say these artists are.
Not really though. Or if anything, the stakes are incredibly low when it comes to whatever they're conflicted over.
Her art is about film, and it's very much about the imagination and internal text, I would say, whereas he's more about the physical world and external textiles. Yeah. So in their coming together, it's like they sort of, the different ways in which they create art and view the world is kind of like an interesting.
She's a filmmaker, he's a graffiti artist.
Yes.
And they're taking both of their skills and putting it on the road. They never once say, we're getting to a point. Their point is the people they meet along the way, the locations that they find, how they bring both the people and the locations together by creating art out of those people and locations. That to me was so amazing. The fact that these two artists who are both renowned in their own territories and their own wheelhouses are spreading the love of art to people who probably did not wake up that morning thinking that their faces were going to be on their own houses at the end of the day.
So what they do is basically, I should say, I guess, to be say, Agnès Varda is 83
at the time,
I think, whereas Géard is 30 years old. So they have that kind of, you know, they're obviously from
early May to late December kind of relationship.
They come from very different places in terms of the times in which they were both raised, and their faces are obviously very different in the sense that they reflect the years that each of them have lived so far. And it's the kind of documentary that is my preferred type, fly on the wall docs, like Maisel's brothers, the ones that kind of, you know, they even say at the beginning, so what's your plan for the narrative of this documentary? And she's like, well, I don't know. And he's like, so we just make it up as we go along, which is, you know, quite an important line, I think, just because the film, the documentary, and what they're trying to do is very emblematic of how we live our lives day to day as well. So I personally love those kind of documentaries where you just kind of go from one scene to another and see
without
what
making it feel like
happens. Very reactive.
A reality show trope that I don't like is how in the last like 20 years, they've made such a big deal about how it's like confessional moments. And you know that when someone is looking at the camera and going, and then this happened and I don't know what's going to happen next. And it's like, yeah, you do. That happened 2 days ago. And now a producer is making you say it as if it's happening in real time. There were these scenes, there's these shots that kind of pop up every once in a while where they're just sitting like on a bench, looking off into the landscape of whatever place that they've traveled to. Cause they're going on this like, you know, kind of stop to
cross country road trip
in a truck that JR owns, that is also a photo booth, that's also a large format printer. Some of the few times that the camera's actually static is just this lovely shot, almost like the shot from Manhattan when they're on the bench, where it's just looking off into the locations like tapestry, and they're just talking and they're contemplating, they're having these conversations.
Well, you don't see their mouths. It could be another like symbolic of the title again, that as they talk we can't see their faces, we just see the places. But also it was probably quite a useful hack when it came to, you know,
stuff.
ADRing, so that they could be like, well, at this point in the film this has happened. Documentaries I feel like shouldn't be considered fact. Like at the end of the day, they're an editor produced. They're the point of view, they're the right and a wrong and a way that the filmmaker wants you to feel. So I don't know why people look at documentaries like as if they have some other standard. You know, it's just a different form of language when it comes to cinema.
It naturally made it feel like a structure instead of it being like, okay, we're going to sit each of them down and they're going to recount what just happened or what's going to happen. It was a nice way of making it not feel like the typical documentary. For me, if anything, the whole time I kept thinking of two things watching this, because it has just such a lovely tone.
Part of the like idea of imposing aesthetic on an image.
On that moment.
Yeah, like they're imposing ADR onto the images from their past, and that's kind of another example of the point that I think the whole documentary is about.
Normally in docs that like seem to be very popular lately, they're not very hopeful, they're not very fun and breezy in a way. I
I would say that this isn't breezy.
Really?
I think it's about life and death and the intersection between the two, making art and making a living. There's the famous passage in that Daphne du Maurier book, Rebecca, about when the second Mrs. de Winter first meets Maximilian, and they're taking a trip together in a car. And as they're about to turn around a corner, the second Mrs. de Winter looks out at the beautiful landscape and says she wishes she could capture that moment. And it's already gone. Like as the thought exits her brain, the moment's finished and she can't get it back. But like that's kind of what life is. It's this blur kaleidoscope of all these moments that just kind of stream past constantly, but then every now and again you get that one snapshot.
Yes.
That encapsulates everything and just makes you stop for just the briefest of seconds and take stock. And I think that was the point of what they were trying to do in going to these villages where you meet people. Thank you.
I got it right. Yeah,
I dread to think what I look like right now. Oh my goodness.
You look great. They have such a wonderful energy between the two of them. And
yeah.
It's not like, even with the trip.
Shouldn't take life and death so seriously.
Yeah, that's exactly it. they're both of them treat and approach their art as well as their life, at least the one that we see on camera, in a way that feels more glass half full. Like even in the tougher subjects
optimistic.
Yes, optimistic is a perfect. So I retract breezy and I say it's
Yeah,
optimistic.
I just breezy feels like it means it's slight,
Like-
and I
like
do think it's talking about the
yeah.
most important things that we have to talk about. Agnès is very much. She died. This was her last film. She died 3 years
died 3 years later, yeah.
So she very much is going through this journey, contemplating what's next for her.
Yeah.
And I just think there's a lot of wonderful moments in the movie, like that one woman who sees her face in the miners' village. And Agnès even says, like, home is a very powerful thing, that attachment. And Gérard is like, oh, well, I mean, you know, he's young, so he's like, oh, I flit around, I go here, I go there.
I'm a journeyman.
Oui, oui. But this one woman sees her face on this wall, and it's like someone just told her, we remember you, and she starts crying.
And the camera holds on her, and then it spins around with her, and you see like about 7 different expressions on her face, and ultimately there is tears. And it is one of the most powerful moments I've seen in a movie in so long.
It's wonderful. It reminds you of your own.
Oh God, I'm getting
I think it's a very beautiful. They have this one bit where you see all these factory workers. They have the day worker, then the night shift workers. So they never see each other because they're on these alternating 12-hour shifts. So they just do these group photos of both of them where they're reaching out.
They're like one on one
yeah,
side.
like this. Yeah, and it's such a cute. Because when they plaster it all over the factory, and it looks like they're trying to reach out to one another, like desperately trying to connect. And then when they're at the Louvre later, Gérard like drives Agnès through the gallery in a wheelchair, and as they do so, she's reaching out to all these artists. You know what a photograph used to be was an old-fashioned photograph, with artists actually making paintings
reaching out.
And that's them reaching out through history. What I love is that Gérard's art is about impermanence. It's about the transient nature of putting a photograph on a wall in a way that's, you know, only going to be there for a certain amount of time, because that's what, you know, that's the nature of his art. Ultimately, nothing can change the fact that what unites everyone the most is that we are all going to die. And in the face of that, and the places that we don't know we're going to, we're desperately just trying to connect in the meantime, so as to feel some kind of sense of permanence.
In and of itself, the documentary is an art installation.
Yeah,
and
totally.
These 2 collaborators. It's almost like when you would have like 2 musicians coming together and collaborate, and you go
harmonizing.
Like, wow, exactly. That is the perfect word for this movie. It is very much like a lovely harmonization of these 2 artists coming together to reflect on life and death and everything in between.
What I like as well is that Gérard is sort of asking Agnès to confront a lot of her own past lives as they meet all these fresh ones. An old German bunker that was built into the side of the cliff during World War II.
It looks
it's
like something
fallen,
that would be in a movie.
which was built into the cliff for like permanence, you know, to be there, to on guard against all the invading forces. And Gérard asks Agnès to find a picture that they can put on the side of it. And she eventually finds this one of a friend of hers who'd passed away. And she says that she remembers taking the photo of him better than she remembers the day that they spent together. It's like the image has almost taken over the memory. She calls it even une image en abîme, which to mise en abîme means that you're putting an image in an image of itself, like a copy of an image within an image, which is supposed to be suggestive of these kind of like cycles that never end, and like how we often, like deja vu, we often feel these kind of cyclical moments in our lives that are just kind of bookending itself. We always make the same mistakes. History keeps repeating itself. How we look at our relationship to art helps remind us of how far we've come, but also how much we've basically just stayed the same in the same place.
Well, there's a whale at the Museum of Natural History in New York. And I'll never forget going back there years later. So much has happened in my life since the first time that I saw it, and I saw that whale differently. And like, I remember that being a significant moment in my own artistic appreciation by going, I see things differently now.
And yet Joey's still the same old Joey.
Well, I was still farting in there
Yeah,
too,
exactly.
going like, hey guys, you know.
There's that dichotomy between permanence and impermanence that the film is challenging, that is reflective of that internal struggle within ourselves. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like... Oh, am I boring you?
No. Hey, you do that to me where I'm fishing out some fucking great trivia and you're like,
This isn't trivia. This is my, intimate and personal thoughts about the film that we just watched. And about life and death. I also, on that note, really liked that Agnès is talking about how like she can't travel to certain places anymore because she's too old. And so Géard, the other last installations he does is to put her toes and her eyes on one of the cross-country rails. I just loved that he did that for her, because he's like, even if you're going to pass on, there'll still be a part of you left behind that'll still be taking steps that you'll never take and seeing things that you'll never see. And she said, thank you for the beautiful journey. And it's just a really lovely moment between the two of them as well. And yeah, there's just a lot. It's lovely.
Well,
it's very serious, but it's lovely. I would say lovely rather than breezy.
It was most of the art, you walk away from it going, all right, let's see how time will allow that art to stand, because they're all done with like paper and they're just kind of gluing it onto all of these surfaces, and who knows how long. But the one on the bunker goes away like the next day because the tide rolls and washes it away. And it's a beautiful moment. It's also sad, that art like that can only make an impression so long. The
degradation, as we all in our very mortal bodies degrade every day. But thankfully, our memories remain vibrant and beautiful. Anyway, so she's trying to engineer this moment of closure. So they go to visit Godard. He lives in Switzerland.
Are we going to have to put a spoiler alert up? How do you say spoiler alert in French?
Avertissement de spoiler.
Avertissement de spoiler. There, that's good.
There he is, all right. Avertissement is warning. I wouldn't know how you say spoiler. Let's just say that.
Avertissement de spoiler.
Okay, so spoilers out there.
French version.
You've been avertid.
Yes.
They've arranged to meet him, and she even goes to a boulangerie, like a bakery, to get him his favorite brioche.
Yep.
So sweet of her. And anyway, they go to the door, and he's written on his front door this cryptic message, and is nowhere to be found. He's totally like, it's not like he's forgotten because he's written this message for her, but he's just like ghosted them.
He totally ghosted them.
He did
a Godard ghosting.
He's this ghost from her past that she's trying to revisit, and he's literally ghosting her in the moment. And
wait, how do you say ghost in French?
Fantôme.
So they got phantomed. They did. They totally got phantomed.
I think the French people probably just say ghosted.
Okay.
There's some words you can't quite translate.
Ghosted.
But yeah,
Godard ghosting.
Agnès writes a response. So it's kind of funny that they have even though she's pissed, they have this moment of like literal writing on the wall, which I think is more emblematic than if we just had this like conversation with the grumpy Godard. And
that grumpy Godard.
That grumpy Gotti. They go to the lake together and look out at the lake, and she's like, I can't believe he did this. And Géard is like, well, maybe he was like classic Godard, he is very famous for disrupting the usual narrative of film language. And maybe
jump cut their
maybe he just didn't want to give you this engineered perfect ending moment.
It's almost like he was raging against everything that he raged against back in the day when he was doing.
She was just trying to figure out
for a climax.
And I think she was also, even though she says she's not afraid of death, and she's actually looking forward to it because that means her story has finally come to an end and she doesn't have to think about it anymore, like it's done. Which, as any screenwriter will tell you, coming up with an end is always the weirdest part, because you want there to be a sense of closure without it being like an engineered moment for the audience where they're like, we know you slapped that ending on.
But a lot of times those engineered endings are because we've lived in a culture, a show business culture, where filmmakers, but more importantly, like studios and marketing people are like, you got to give him a happy ending. And true to fucking form, wow, this is really blowing my mind right now. True to fucking
You're
form.
welcome.
Godard is raging against conventionalism by going, I'm deliberately not going to give you the closure that I never give in Alphaville.
Yeah.
You know?
This is why it's good to discuss a movie together after you watch it, because you get to blow each other's minds.
That's fucking crazy.
We don't have pie, but at least we got to talk about the movie.
Mad at him. What's the ending? And we immediately go, what's the formula for an ending? You have to have some form of closure, or there's got to be full circle shit. And Godard said, no, not happening.
It's kind of
and that's
perfect.
Beautiful in a way.
Yeah, it really
she's
is.
so upset, and you
I know,
feel for her too.
And
She's
I love that
tearing
JR was right there saying like, maybe this is what he was actually trying to do. And she's like, I don't want to give him the credit, but maybe.
God damn it, he's right.
Yeah, and she's basically saying maybe just like in life, there isn't any kind of real the end to anyone's life. We're always going to be leaving some kind of a trace of ourselves and some kind of loose ends that do kind of keep une image en abîme, like they're an image within an image replicating itself, and it's never going to be exactly what we are right now, but it's still, you know, some kind of a cycle that's just goes on and on and on. J.R. is trying to make her feel better. And it's like, what can I do? What can I do to make you feel better? And the whole movie, he's got these sunglasses plastered on his face because that's just part of his look.
His shtick, yeah.
And she's like, oh, it reminds me of Godard, that fucking asshole.
And at one point in the middle, she even says, like, I want to see your eyes.
Yeah.
And that's the only time that you ever have any conflict between them.
I think she's pissed because she herself is, we see her struggle. Her eyes are failing her. Yeah. And she said that's become kind of scary because she's losing her eyesight. Yeah. And she says like it's preventing her from feeling like she truly connects with him. So in the last moment of the film, he says, I'll take them off for you. How about that to make you feel better? And he takes his glasses off and they show her POV.
That's blurry.
And that's blurry. And she says, I can't see you very well, but I can see you.
It was amazing.
I just think that's so sweet.
What a wonderful ending.
Yeah.
And in a way, they got their Hollywood ending.
I know, because they in that last moment,
because they let it happen organically.
Just connect.
Yeah.
And it's that little precious moment, snapshot, that makes living a real life. And it's nice.
It was really, really nice.
So Faces, Places.
Such a wonder. If you haven't seen it.
Two for the road.
It's on what? Criterion Collection, I think. Is that how we saw it? No, we saw it on Tubi.
Yes, it's on Tubi, Canopy, I want to say Plex, a few places.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, highly, highly recommended.
Yay, good. I'm so happy you liked it.
Great choice.
Good.
Because after that, we get into 100 miles per hour of pure fucking awesome, and that is Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have been wanting to see this movie ever since, I believe Tarantino, when he would do his QT fests at the Alamo Drafthouse, I think it was one of the first ones that he ever did, and he played Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, and he referenced it in other movies before.
Peter Fonda and Susan George are Dirty Mary and Crazy Larry. There's nothing they won't try. Rated PG.
I will say straight off the bat, the biggest spoiler alert that we've ever had needs to go up in front of this film.
You know what? Let's do one now.
We can't even begin to discuss it until we have a spoiler alert.
First spoiler alert. Okay, there's going to be more because this movie is...
I would say I love rewatching movies, and I loved rewatching this movie. Nothing in the world compares to the first time you watch this film.
John Howe directed this movie. He directed
I thought it was Hugh.
Hugh Howe. Ho, will, H-O-U-G-H. The Legend of Hell House and Escape from Witch Mountain. Or Escape to Witch Mountain. He also did Howling 4. He's one of those journeyman directors, but this, I think, is his masterclass.
The script, as well as how it's directed, is unbelievable. I'm obsessed. Like, watching it more, I can't believe how well written. Like, everything lends itself to one another in such an exciting way.
So one of the best times at the New Beverly that we had, I believe a year and a half ago, was going to see the movie Steel.
Oh, yes.
This was written by
Gala
the same
suggestion.
writer of
Is
Steel.
it?
A woman writer, Lee Chapman, who was also an actor.
Yes, I know Lee Chapman.
So
Amazing.
she was one of the writers on this, and she said one of the quotes that she had about this movie was, "I don't write rom-coms. I write action-adventure. That's how I get my characters out."
Literally, the opening shot of the movie. So, okay. You know what the ending is because you're not an idiot and you went away and watched this film and had an extraordinary experience, and now you're back with us.
You will be so mad at yourself if you don't go watch the movie and come back.
We are assuming you've seen it, and the
You've
opening...
already paid for this episode. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, the opening shot of the movie is a train almost hitting the camera,
goes right
past.
And you're
Obviously, it's bookending and heavily referencing the end of the film.
First time you see it, you're going, okay, just a shot of a train.
Yeah,
No,
how random to start with a shot of a
Americana.
train.
It's a road trip, and people are on trains, and they're moving from place to place. Okay, thematically, that works.
And then it goes into the credits, I guess. And so
then
you're like, whoa, whoop-de-doo, I guess that was a shot.
What that train
Watching it the
represents.
second time, you're like, oh my God, there are so many moments that they're letting you know this ending is coming. But it's still so brilliantly done that when you watch it the first time, my jaw was on the floor
in
for
silence for a good 5 minutes
and then
before
also
going back and watching it over and over again. But if you don't know the plot concerns two former drivers who...
no, it's a former NASCAR driver played by Peter Fonda
and his mechanic.
his mechanic engineer.
And
important.
They rob a supermarket that Roddy McDowell owns or manages, and which in a way is the exact story that Honey Bunny and Tim Roth and Amanda Plummer are talking about in the beginning of Pulp Fiction, because they're like, they robbed a liquor store with a telephone, and that's exactly what they did. He's terrifying looking. You didn't get this reference as much, but I'm sure you guys would get this reference a little more. He's like if Ralphie from A Christmas Story grew up and turned bad, he looks like Ralphie.
I got the reference.
I know,
but I just don't think Ralphie's
it.
sexy, and I think Deke's kind of sexy.
We're gonna get to that, but after that, the two guys, pull off this heist. But
no offense, Ralphie, if you're watching.
Sorry, Peter Billingsley. I know that you're one of our tried and true members, but no. Mary, local yokel has sex with her, leaves her at the hotel. Well, she ain't fucking having that shit.
No, she wakes up when she hears, which is, to be fair, he could have picked a less loud car.
Yes.
The car is very loud when the engine starts, and she wakes up in this amazing, she looks like, she reminds me of a little bull terrier or something, the whole movie.
She's got permanent stink face.
I love, she's got this kind of, like a bull terrier. She even wakes up like a dog that's been woken up by a startling noise. She's like,
there's a couple times where they're all working together, but then there's moments where it's more of Deke and Larry as the couple, or sometimes it's Deke and Mary as the couple, and I loved how the power dynamic through the course of the film, because now they're getting chased by Vic Morrow.
Yeah, so it basically is almost like two different films, because the beginning is a heist movie. What I love watching it the second time is that I got to see so many little nuances that they sprinkle in during a lot of the early sequences that I didn't catch when he looks at the bar, the kind of pathetic home bar they have, and then later in the film you find out that he has a bad history with alcohol abuse. So I was like, oh, they hinted it already right there, and you know that he has some kind of a humanity, I guess. And he's like, sit on the couch, and she's like, oh God, not that, which obviously she thinks he's gonna rape her, and he's like, listen lady, if I was gonna do that I would have waited till after your shower, which is
creepy as fuck.
But then he doesn't rape her, and the little girl starts choking on the gag, and he helps her out, takes the gag off, I'm gonna trust you.
You're gonna choke if you throw up.
Yeah, exactly. And so he doesn't let that happen. He does take the gag off and just hopes that she doesn't make any noise, which I don't know that a darker, more fucked up kind of heist person would have done. If this was a Corbucci or, one of the harder Aldriches.
A lot darker than that.
Yeah, exactly. So at least, you realize he has some kind... in this weird world, this dirty, crazy world, he has some kind of a code-ish.
Once they get on the road, and once Vic Morrow's character, who plays this captain who's just got a hankering to take them down.
They thought they were going to have much more of a head start because they leave a message, like a recorded message on the machine. So every time Roddy calls them, he's like, oh no, my family's still captured. But then his secretary realizes that she hears like a click. Or something, or some kind of like something not right.
He realizes that, like, wait a second, my dial tone doesn't wait that long before it goes to, like, when it ends.
So they don't really get much of a head start.
Immediately when Vic Morrow comes on screen, you kind of go, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Like, if you showed him coming out of his car or leaving the night before, he's gonna have his own fucking movie and his own story.
I mean, they're not the biggest criminals in the history of the world.
No, they're not pretty
masterminds. They
think they are.
No, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not like they did kill a little girl or kill a police officer or anything like that. And yet Vic Morrow goes after them.
Treats them like Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive.
Obsessed, like really intensely razor focused on capturing them in a way that like is almost as psychotic as they are.
He's obsessed. Vic Morrow is exceptional at his job.
Is he?
No, he is, because by the time you get to the ending in the third act, when he is playing mind games with them, you go, this guy knows what the fuck he's doing.
That's another script thing that I am obsessed with. The use of the police radio that they have, because it's both useful because it allows Vic and the criminals to talk to one another and like connect on some kind of a level.
At one point they're like, we can't respond because then he's going to think that it's two-way.
What I was going to say is that it's also just a really smart plot use, but that they deviously start to mind game with one another. So it's both revealing of character and plot in a really cool way because they start using the handheld like radio against one another.
The only other movie I can think of that did that really well was Joyride. Remember Joyride with Paul Walker and Steven Zahn, the one with the big truck. Candy Cane.
Did you show me it?
Oh, we gotta watch that. It's a total two-hander. Holy shit.
Oh, I guess you should have picked that.
No. Over Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry? No fucking way.
I mean, I love this movie. I still don't think it's a two-hander because I do think that they do become a kind of fucked up threesome family of sorts. There's a moment when they're trying to fix the souped up car and the Vic Morrow has a great line where he's like, says, it's not the car that's souped up, it's the driver, which I loved. Yeah. She veers to the right really randomly and she thinks that she's like killed them.
And they look at each other like near miss moment.
Yeah, and it's like for them it's like this near miss, but then also it's kind of like they're fucking with her by not responding immediately. So she's like,
look, even the audience thinks that they're
yeah,
dead.
exactly. And after that, there's kind of like a thawing of like their hostility to one another. They start to begrudgingly work together. What I think is most important about the Mary character is it's almost like without her, it would just be two friends who've known each other for a really long time going like just being told.
You need that outsider.
Yeah, like they're a pond and she's the rock that's thrown into the pond and her
causes the ripples.
Yeah, and then you get to see the ripple effects unfold amongst the three of them and it really provokes them in interesting, revealing ways.
I personally think she's the brains of that operation. If you think like Deke is very much he's the like form.
Well, it ain't Larry.
Exactly. He's the mechanic. Larry is a total sociopath.
Larry's is not the brightest bulb in the
one
box.
Who I think is the moral and the more intelligent center.
But she's their literal compass.
Yeah,
towards the end.
But Dirty, I don't know.
It's so mean.
It's very male gaze. You can almost tell that someone in the poster department was like, "We already got the title: Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry." Well, put her in a lot of provocative clothing, and that'll make her dirty. Now Larry is crazy.
All three of them, to be fair, they're all fucking
fucking weird in their own beautiful sort of way.
Yeah.
The stunts in this film are second to none.
Oh my god, the helicopter.
Don't get that. We'll get to the helicopter, but you don't get. Hold on. I saw him over there looking at shit, and I knew. So now we know that the knock gets Rocco back over there and gets him away from Adam's toys. Haha! I've cracked the code. This movie is honestly one of those movies like Vanishing Point or like Bullet and French Connection. Peter Fonda did most of the driving in this movie and would drive 100 miles an hour consistently
my
to the point where the other
God.
actors were like, I can't deal with that, but he's like, yeah. So he was his character. Because when they do camera shots in like car shots in movies, either you're doing a poor man's process where they're on a trailer or whatever, it's maybe raised up. Nowadays they use a thing called a biscuit where the driver is on the top of the car driving around. So it still feels like they're actually driving, but it doesn't feel like rear projection. This movie puts the camera on the actual car, but loosens up the tripod a little bit, so it's constantly vibrating, and that energy that it adds to the frame makes it feel even faster than it is. And you really do feel like there's moments that like both of us were like, ooh, and we've seen it already.
Deke and Larry call each other Bunky.
Yeah.
And Larry says, that's the best time this has ever done. What did you do to it, Bunky? And Deke just says, just hit it with a bigger hammer. And it kind of reminded me of that like old saying where it's like, why do you keep hitting yourself over the head with that hammer? Because it feels so good when it stops. I think that's almost revealing of like how they live their lives. It's like when they were NASCAR drivers together, or he was the driver and he was his mechanic. Horrid, uncomfortable, dangerous experience. Like it feels awful.
You do a lot of NASCAR
it's like
racing yourself?
Almost no, I've just seen enough people in an actual car like who aren't used to it. Like they'll do that on a talk show. Yeah, and like their head in the helmet is like shoved around. Kind of reminded me of that old euphemism. You went through that horrific experience just to feel how great adrenaline rush afterwards. And I love that that's kind of almost how the movie begins, with this literal payoff from a store, and then the rest of the movie you're just waiting to see if it actually does pay off. Why are you doing this? And there's some kind of backstory.
Is that the scene when they're changing the tire? That's and maybe the best scene in the movie.
And Deke does say like, no, I drank myself out of the circuit, so that's why I'm with this crazy
and when he
lunatic.
defends her and like says, don't you do that again to her. I fucking love
because
that.
Larry finally decides he has enough, because she's very confrontational, which good for her, you go girl. But he slaps her eventually and she falls to the ground, and Deke rises to her defense in almost a way that is telling, I think, of his relationship with Larry. It's like he's better able to defend Mary than he ever could to defend himself.
Use her as an excuse to
to be like
himself.
to actually stand up and be like, stop being such a bully. Because she is like this little bull terrier, and it's like Larry kicks her. Like not literally, but like it's like he kicked the dog or something, and Deke's like, don't, like that's what we got from the beginning. It's like that moment of his character comes full circle where like while he may, part of him is just connected and attached to Larry at the hip in this really kind of strange codependent way, almost in the same way that he is attached to alcohol in that strange codependent way. It's a little toxic, but somehow the thrill of it makes him feel more alive than anything else he has going on in his life. And in that moment that he stands up for her, you're like, oh, Deke, like he just isn't able to do the same for himself. And I just love him.
That's what's so wonderful about like the beginning of the film to the end
all
of the
of
film.
them.
Most good road movies give the audience a perception of who you think those people are at first, and then by the end, a good road movie lets them learn about each other, learn about themselves, but the audience gets to see them hopefully in a different light. The helicopter scene, the helicopter chase is, I've never seen anything like that other than maybe T2 when the helicopter
drove under the bridge.
But the fact that Vic Morrow even says that I've always had a premonition and that I'm going to be killed in a helicopter.
I know.
crash.
I read that on IMDb too, and I wish I knew whether or not that's true, because there's no like corroboration with IMDb.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know the whole thing about Vic Morrow, how he was killed on the set of
About
Twilight
10
Zone,
years
the movie.
later.
Yeah, it was about that.
And it's insane because that was a kind of a, relatively speaking, like the helicopter stunts in this are in, like the helicopter flies within inches
with
of
the
a
actor
car.
in it.
Oh my God.
Now,
it's
if
harrowing.
you know about helicopters, you know, like you can put the actor in that cockpit, and because the driver, the pilot is the one who's actually steering it, but you can put the actor in there and make it seem like he's in the action. And there are moments where you see Vic Morrow going, lower, lower, hit him, and the fucking helicopter is hitting the car.
No,
it's fucking crazy.
No, it's unbelievable. You would never see that now. Was an actor. Oh, it's just terrifying to watch. And you're right. It's impossible. not to, like we were saying at the beginning of the movie, you bring your own baggage to every interpretation of a movie theme. The same goes for when you watch any actor that you know from other movies or even their own personal lives. Like they have a certain level of baggage that they bring whenever you cast any actor in any role. And this is so weird because through like this was 10 years after. He wasn't bringing that baggage to Dirty Mary Crazy Larry, but watching it all through this bizarre prism of history, knowing later, you're like, you can't help but be haunted by
the moment when you see the helicopter land and he gets in it. There's something so creepy
and
about
the
it. You
guy,
can't unsee.
the driver, even that's the only reason why I was like, is he a good captain? Because when he gets in the helicopter and he's all like, I'm gonna get these, like he's obsessed at this point. The helicopter driver is like, well, we don't have much fuel. He's
at a
like,
pivotal moment, he's like, we have to stop chasing them. We have to
leave. But that's was also like, they don't just say that, like it's not Chekhov's gunny. It's a well-constructed script because they tell him from the beginning, like he gets in the helicopter and, he doesn't care. And the guy's like, well, we only have a certain amount of fuel, and he's like, whatever, chase him, get him.
I thought about this too. If he would have listened to the helicopter pilot, they would have refueled. They would have eventually still gotten the gang. And I think the ending would have been completely different if he had just gassed up earlier on. Because now, can we spoiler alert again?
Yeah, let's talk about the ending.
Okay. Holy shit. Yeah. This ending will
floor
you. You will not try, if you can, try to watch the movie. If you've seen it by now and you know what we're talking about, try to watch the movie with someone who hasn't seen it.
I want to watch this movie to regain that first time viewing experience. I really want to see it at the New Beverly.
You want to see someone go, what the fuck? Because that's what we did. We're sitting there watching it, probably eating Chipotle. And then all of a sudden, what?
I always talk about how movies are a better second time viewing experience. This is the only one where I wish I could watch it for the first time again.
I agree.
What's amazing is right before this shocking final shot where they all die, there's a sense of closure in the car. Yeah. She even says something about how, next time we stop, I think I'm going to call home.
Yeah.
And they're like, you have a home? She's like, yeah, I'm going to call my parents and check in.
And you don't see it coming. If it's the first time, you don't realize that they are basically all saying goodbye to the audience.
Yeah, and it's so beautiful that the script gives them this one short moment of levity, and then they say something like we're in the home stretch now. We're in the clear. Looks like it. And then,
but even watching it a second time and knowing that they are basically setting up for like, coast is clear, everybody, and then boom.
It's like 3 shots. There's them crashing into the train, reaction shot, not of Larry, it's only the 2-shot reaction. So I guess it is just 2 for the road in the final shot.
I think that they establish themselves as the dominant couple in that scene in the Walnut Grove, as much, and especially since Larry is like looming in the background like an asshole. He becomes kind of his true self, and he becomes the asshole. And it maybe was about these two.
They're just a human centipede at the end of the day, and he's the asshole.
I want to ask you this: fuck, marry, kill.
Right? Fuck Mary, kill Larry, marry Deke.
That was exactly mine. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Well, Deke.
I don't know. I bet you Deke is a really good power top.
Well, Deke just feels like he's pretty smart. And he's also I feel bad that he has such low self-esteem. I want to look after him and build him back up. And Mary, I feel really bad because I've spent so much time defending her, how she's more than just a quick fuck. Oh, but she's very hot though.
Yeah.
Maybe marry Mary.
Maybe.
And fuck Deke. Always kill Larry though. I'll always kill Larry.
Sorry, Peter Fonda, you're always
10 out of 10 times kill 100%. Larry. Deke and Mary, I'm like, I don't know. I'll just get married. We'll just become a throuple.
That works. I like that.
Yeah, we'll Tintorero each other. Another great Susan George. Wait,
I love that. Yes.
Another great Susan George
I love
movie.
that Tintorero is now a verb. By the way, if you love zooms in movies, this has some of the most spectacular snap zooms.
Everything is visceral.
John Howe is so underrated as a director, as a craftsman. But there are moments that don't even need to be punctured, because a good zoom can either be like a slow creep for some suspense or a whoosh.
Well, this whole movie is a whoosh, and you end it with whiplash.
But there's the one where it's in a car rig shot where you're going, there must have been a camera guy that was stuck outside the fucking car as this thing is going 80 miles an hour as Peter Fonda goes, wow, not a goddamn thing. Fuck, you can't
So
not
great.
go, God damn it, even though he's a total sociopath and you want to punch him in
but
the
you
face.
love watching him on screen.
Yes.
He's dynamic.
And the camera loves him, the camera loves her, the camera loves all three of them.
Yeah.
He even loves fucking Vic Morrow
I mean,
at the end
it
of the
just
day.
feels like the whole movie, from the second the heist begins, someone is just like lit a match on a stick of dynamite, and
Yes.
that's the rest of the film.
Yep.
It's just watching that dynamite until the inevitably blows up.
Yep, I agree. I would say for this episode, another amazing double
I agree.
feature.
As much as I'm not sure that Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry is a 2 for the road, I do actually think that these movies worked incredibly well together in a shocking and bizarre way that you would never expect seeing them both programmed together, because they're such different kinds of movies.
It does exemplify a good road movie, taking two characters, putting them together, and setting them off.
Well, I would go further than that. I would say that they both examine very similar themes about life and death and the cyclical nature of everything. I mean, as I already talked about in Faces, Places, that's almost like an essay about how we, you know, that image on a beam idea that we are all just images within images, photocopies, like going through the cyclical transience of life, how photographs and art are these collections of kind of, you know, snapshots of freeze-framed moments that desperately try to claw back time so that to stop the clock in some kind of a desperate attempt to not, you know, die, which we obviously all have to do, and we're all very aware of that, and it's very painful and intense.
And one of the films insinuates that, and another one shoves it right into your face.
Like Dirty Mary, Crazy Mary is like probably the most literal film I have ever seen about moment to moment.
Yeah.
Like the whole movie, I mean, all of the personalities are like they change on a dime, and there are so many action sequences in it, like we were talking about with the helicopter and had he just fueled up. Like it's all just a matter of these split-second decisions
that completely change everything. Sliding doors.
Exactly. You know? Like there's even this incredible line when Deke like re-challenges Mary and so like, why did you come along with us then if you are saying that that I shouldn't be with Larry? And she says, well, I didn't have anything better to do. Yeah. And it's like all these characters are just living life
living
in
on
these
the edge in a way.
By the seat of their pants. And it is just so much about just going from this one really visceral moment to another so that they just somehow like outrace death. So the fact that it becomes this kind of, you know, cycle in and of itself, that they have the bookending shot of the train is so unbelievable. It's because but it's also makes the entire film une image en abîme, because it's just constantly repeating itself like this bizarre cycle of life and death, which is what we're all experiencing all the time. And both these movies are about that.
Death is coming.
Yeah, but like about how we're trying to find, while we are alive, we're still trying to feel alive in these different ways and connect in these different ways and leave some kind of a writing on the wall so that somebody knows, even while we're alive and after we're gone, that we were here, we had eyes, we had a voice, and we left some kind of a writing on the wall in order to not feel so very alone.
I would say amazing double feature.
Without having to go into an argument over it, that it's too a dynamic duo. That being said, I loved watching them side by side. As a dynamic duo on their own, pretty great double feature.
I agree. And so let us know what you think for Two for the Road, but let us know what you think. What would you have picked for Two for the Road? Would you have picked the same movies? Would you have picked different movies? Who knows? You know, I do have to bring Ding Dong up.
Oh, he's been so nervous ever since you did that mean knock trick on him.
Oh, please. What do you think? Wait, so...
He's Deke.
He's Deke.
Yeah.
Yes, he's Doggy Deke.
No, he's Larry.
Maybe. What the... Will you tell me a secret? Well, guess what, everybody? This is the kind of the end of the road for this iteration of A Couple of Old Fashions. We set out to do 5 episodes that were going to be produced and put out in the month of March. And I got to say, it's been a wonderful trip together to do this. We've been talking about this for a long time, and let's
In
just
the
say
words
that.
of Agnes Varda, it is thank you for the beautiful journey.
Oh man, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. Well, you know, I really enjoyed this, and I feel like we want to continue this on.
Yes.
This was always going to be a short-term thing, just while Adam was away, as a fun little sideshow.
As the green is away, the kids shall play.
And I don't think we ever intended for this sideshow to continue, but you know, that doesn't mean that this will end. We can keep doing this in some form, and let us know. I actually would love to send you guys like a quick questionnaire, maybe.
Let us know what you liked about the show. Let us know what you think we could do better.
Exactly, and like going forward,
Would
if
the
we
title
were
be
to launch
something-
our own potential show on
Yes.
on its own platform, whether that would be of interest.
We're only going to make the show better if we hear from you guys. You have been our wonderful kind of test audience to allow us to not only have a really good time doing this together, doing it with you, doing it with Rocco, having the time to be able to make a little bit of art together. It's been our own little road trip. But also see what we could potentially do with this, because like I said all the way back in the beginning, you know, we love talking about movies and recommending movies.
The two most important things any human can be is interested and interesting. And in that sense, I feel like movies are something that we've always been very interested in. And it's fun to have conversations and hear your interesting thoughts about it and start a dialogue with you guys and just keep it going. Because, you know, I think it's great to meet someone that you can talk to. And I like the convos. Let's keep them going. Yeah, just never shut up. Even whilst sick, I can still fucking chat up a storm.
Good for you.
I guess.
You did great. I'm very
That's
proud
how
of you.
I'm just going to scare away death by talking it to death.
About movies.
Or like Grim Reaper's just like, oh my God, shut up.
Dude, please.
Anyway, this has been lovely, and yeah, not the end.
Nope,
As
not the end.
the end of Faces Places, there will be
continued.
exactly. There's never any real end. We'll figure out some kind of.
We'll let you guys know where we kind of land after this. Like, are we going to be, you know, public, private? Who knows? We're going to figure out. But thanks to every single one of you who bought an episode, who spread the good word about the show. We love you all, and if we see you at the New Beverly or out and about, let's talk movies. Let's talk about some double features. And with that, we got to end with your slogan.
Thank you. Yes, don't yawn this time. Movies, they're the only date night worth participate. No crap.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.
That's a wrap.